tallest in the world to be known only by the address. It's 311 South Wacker. 1990 by Cohn, Pedersen, and Fox. Rose carnelian granite makes up the facade for this reinforced concrete building. There are 5 glass towers atop it, illuminated night with 1,400 fluorescent lights popping in our skyline. Colloquially, it's called the White Castle building because of it. Rumored, the 5 glass towers are based on the same design the architect gave his fiancée for her engagement ring. And behind it, the big, black, boxy skyscraper, 2 big white antennas, is our former Sears. Yeah, I've been calling it the former Sears. Got a new name. The Willis Insurance Agency's moved in. Now, Willis is renting the largest percentage out of any business or corporation in the building. So when they negotiated the rental lease, they negotiated the name change. July 2009, Chicago says, goodbye Sears, hello to the Willis Tower. So winds at the altitude of 1,454 feet reach over 200 miles an hour. That's hurricane force. To avoid structural damage, Dr. Frosler contemplates tubular construction, bundling together 974-foot boxes at base. As that tower rises, these boxes drop off, leaving only 2 at the very top. The bundling at the base of the building is what allows the skeletal frame to give away under the high-velocity winds. Technically, it can sway a full 3 feet in any given direction. 103rd floor observation deck. If a strong wind comes from the west, you feel the 3 feet give to the east. If you have your cameras, when we clear the bridge, you'll see a Panera sign. As we pull past the Panera sign, you get your best round-the-top shot of the skyscraper in the city. Look all the way up there. You're going to see those 4 glass boxes. Give them a little wave. They'll take our photo. Those glass boxes are the newest addition to the sky deck. They let us step off the former Sears. Look beneath you through the glass. 1,353 feet.
Oh,
and I'm going to fit. When I tread those out, I got weak in the knees. But I actually saw this boat, the Wendella, go by, so that's how they'd be taking our photo. Sometimes when there's no glare from the sun and we're waving at them, we see the flashes of their cameras going off through the glass floors. Thank you, Nick. Nick's slowing down for that photo op. We don't always do that. You can give Nick a little round of applause if you want. He's working very hard. He deserves it. So 2 people have successfully climbed the 28 acres of black aluminum to create the skid to that skyscraper. One was Spider-Man. He does it with suction cups and pulleys. He makes it all the way to the top. He is greeted by the Chicago police who realize it is not Spider-Man or Peter Parker, and he's arrested for trespassing. Now, if any of you are to go to the top of the building, please use one of those 104 elevators. I promise one will take you to the sky deck on the 103rd floor. Clear day from the sky deck, we are able to see the surrounding 4 states, which includes across Lake Michigan. To rise the 1,353 feet of the elevator takes only 1 minute. Our sky deck sees an overestimated 1.5 million visitors annually. To make the trip, brace yourself for a wait. To avoid the longest waits in line, either go at the start of the day when it opens, or late afternoon or early evening when your little children. Often funding open dusk to watch our city light up with the tallest building. The former Mercantile Exchange, or as we call it for short, the Merc, coming into view on your right. By Fujikawa and Johnson. Now the building is designed, the architects have to account for a small plot of land. So they wind up doing is cantilevering or putting a little portion of these towers over the 11-story Central Pavilion. The pavilion was originally the trading floor for the Mercantile. When they merged with the Board of Trade, it turned into office space. Note the corners of the towers, they're a little different. That is what we call a serrated corner. The beauty of a serrated corner is you are given 4 corner offices for every corner space that's allotted. Civic Opera Building coming into view. 1929 by Graham Anderson, Probst & White. This is an Art Deco building, but it has a gorgeous French Renaissance influence with ornamentation throughout the whole facade depicting the arts over the centuries. Dance, music, theater, all in that ornamentation. Only a tiny percentage is actually visible to us from the river on the western side of the building with those dramatic masks under the windows. This is funded by Samuel Insull. Insull hailed from New York and made his living in utilities. While he was in New York, he had a mistress who really wanted to be an opera singer at the Met. The Met really did not want her. Says Samuel Insull, lovely man he was, built that opera house in our honor. It's a 3,500-seat auditorium that has office space wrapping around it. Historically, that office space is important to note. Ansel asked to invest half of the $36 million it cost to construct out of his personal fortune. This building opens only a matter of days after the fall of the stock market in 1929. Ansel's fortune is lost. But the foresight that he had to offer commercial space able to later lease for profit is how this building has survived in the long run. I am so sorry, because I know on the lower level this is very difficult to do. But if you're able to, it's even a little bit better when we're on the other side of this bridge. But try your best to keep looking at that opera house as we pull away from it. Because the more we pull away from this building, it starts to look like an enormous armchair, which gives it its nickname, Ansel's throne. We say it sits with its back turning to the east towards New York, the way New York turned its back on its mistress.
So if you're having a hard time seeing that chair, where he'd actually sit in it, his back would face this way, and the gray ledges would be the armrests.
Yeah, is it? Is it boy? It looks like a throne. It looks like a throne. Boy. Boom. Okay, boy.
Alright, immediately to your right, that red brick building, Green Ivy. It's a Great Lakes building. 1912 Halliburton Roche, first to sit back far enough from the edge of a river to allow for a green space. It is on the site of where the wigwam stood. 1860, the little wooden building on the river known as the wigwam is where Abraham Lincoln was nominated for presidency. As we clear the bridge, we have 3 buildings in a row by Cone, Pedersen, Fox. Rare to have that happen unintentionally. The first one is 191 North Wacker, the dark glass skyscraper tucked by the L track to our right. Next is 333 West Wacker, dramatically curved green glass building that has a marble stone base. And on the other side of the Franklin Street Bridge is 225 West Wacker. All 3, Cone, Pedersen, Fox. Rare to have it happen unintentionally. The middle building, 333, dramatically curved green glass, marble stone base. Postmodernistic in its style, that is inspired by a Perrier model. Now, it's a gorgeous example of what we call contextualism. So contextualism means the building is adapted to fit our atmosphere, as opposed to altering the atmosphere for the building. The bend of the river, that's a 360-degree curvature. The other half of the building will fit the strict grid pattern for Chicago streets. At the base, the silver medallions that you see are in the neighbor 225 on the other side of the bridge, built to complement 333. Is anyone familiar with Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Excellent. You know the major parade scene where Ferris is heading down the street and then you see his dad like rapping after music in his office? He's dancing in the green glass building for classic. Looking at 225, you're going to see the medallion at the base. There's flat coming out of it. Look above the medallion to the flat to the central panels of windows. So the central panels of windows have those uninterrupted sets of rivets that run to the top of the building. Those pay homage to the 2 bridges this building lies in between. Connecting the towers at the very top is a miniature bridge, which pays homage to all of our bridges that are in and around the area. Over 80 in and around the area, 56 on the river, 37 can open and close. The style we have in Little C, a baskin trunnion. 4 of the baskin trunnion are double-decked. 2 of the double-decked baskin trunnion, including the one we're about to go underneath, can support the elevated train, or L for short. Now I know these bridges look like they're in rough shape, but they are all in working order. We actually see them open and close on an as-needed basis. We're coming into view of a double-decked roadway to your right. This is Wacker Drive. So Wacker's part of our city plan of 1909. Most likely a few of you already know the lower level from chasing some movies like Blues Brothers, Batman Begins, or The Dark Knight. We suggest you stay off of it. A, it's under construction. B, if you're not accustomed to this roadway, it's going to be a little overwhelming. Technically, we actually hold an upper Wacker Drive, a lower Wacker Drive, a lower Wacker Drive, North Wacker Drive, a South Wacker Drive, an East Wacker Drive, a West Wacker Drive, and to make things more entertaining for you, traffic will exit and turn on both sides of the road. The LaSalle Wacker building coming into view next. It is aptly named for its location on LaSalle and Wacker. That H shape utilized there is because it's one of the first to use setbacks due to a 1920s ordinance that required them. Setbacks are required for density issues. They allow light and ventilation to enter both the streets as well as the buildings. Under construction next door was going to be Waterview Tower, home to Shangri-La in Chicago. Unfortunately, Waterview is a victim of our economic times and has lost its funding and gone into foreclosure, will not be completed. The building has been standing like that since 2009. There are
Oh
talks
my
of it possibly being turned into high-end luxury condominiums. 77 West Backer, Spanish architect Ricardo Bofill. That's a beautiful example of postmodernistic architecture. It's a reaction to modernism, those black box buildings we kept seeing. Postmodernism combines a variety of styles together. So Bofill has merged for us that classical stone, the modern glass, and adorned the very top of the building with a Greek-style pediment, which is why it's such a beautiful example of postmodernism. 55 West Wacker next door is indicative of the brutalist style. Common 1960s cost-effectiveness material, it's a concrete building. 35 West Wacker is also postmodernistic. Here is a building that is a column and a column design, silver mullions running up the facade. Now, it was completed in 1989 by Kevin Roche and John Dinkeloo, two Irish architects. Leo Burnett resides there. They've come up with icons like Snap, Crackle, Pop, Tony the Tiger, and Charlie the Tuna. Try your best to look to the front right of our boat in the skyline for a green building with a gold top. If you're looking at me on the top deck, it's right behind me. One building to the right of Hotel 71, the green building, gold top, to the front right of us in the skyline. The former Carbide Carbon building, now home to the Hard Rock Hotel. The Burnett brothers design it. They can't agree on how to decorate. One night in the bar, they have a bottle of champagne and think, hey, that look cool. To your right, the tree-lined area with a fountain with a series of flags, second largest Vietnam Veterans Memorial in the nation. Look above the memorial, tan building, tower and dome in the middle, that's our former jeweler's building. A terracotta exterior, it's modeled after a 15th century Italian monastery. Little dome on the tower, that's a Belvedere. Once housed a speakeasy frequented by Al Capone, known as the Stratosphere. Seen in movies like Batman Begins and Transformers 3. Mallard Tower is our skinniest example of skyscraper on the river. The thin white tower to the left of Hotel 1928, riddle and riddle. In the early 2000s, that skinny octagonal tower at the top was declared structurally unsafe. So they have to take that ornate white little tip-off. It's a cupola. They rest that on a river barge, knock off 6 stories of that little tower before the cupola is placed right back on it again. Next door is the former London Guarantee. That's on the site of where Fort Dearborn would have stood. Now, we really get our start as a city when Fort Dearborn's erected in 1803. With the War of 1812, though, the fort's abandoned and burned down. Then by 1817, we rebuild, reopen, and stays open until 1837, when Chicago was incorporated as a city. In 1920, the DeSable Bridge is the Michigan Avenue Bridge. It's the world's very first double-decked basket trunnion. The bridge in front of you can technically open and close in under a minute. Atop the bridge in front of us, look for a flag that has 3 white stripes, 2 blue stripes, 4 red stars. It's our Chicago flag. Everything on the flag stands for something different. If you happen to miss the flag on this side of the bridge, there'll be another to the right or left of you on the other side. 3 white stripes, 2 blue stripes, 4 red stars. So those white stripes are for the land to the north, south, and west of Chicago. The blue stripes, bodies of water that are in and around our city. We're currently on the Chicago River, and the city resides on Lake Michigan. Now, the 4 red stars are events that define Chicago history. Fort Dearborn, 1803. The Great Chicago Fire of 1871. World Columbian Exposition of 1893. And then the World's Fair, a Century of Progress in 1933. In the middle of the Great Depression, the World's Fair of 1933, financial success. All right, to your right-hand side, we have a cluster of buildings, and they all pop up at the exact same moment. So first, look for 2 red brick towers. There's going to be a thin one close to the edge of the river. His brother, short, fat, and further back on land is the Hyatt Regency. 2,051 rooms, the largest hotel in our city. Look in between the Hyatt Towers, the metallic skyscraper architectural spire, 2 Prudential Plazas modeled after the Chrysler Building in New York. To the left of 2 Prudential, there's a columned white skyscraper, strong emphasis on the vertical line. The Aon Center, the former Standard Oil. It's right behind the Fat Hyatt brother. It's going to disappear in the next few moments. Now, Aon, or the former Standard Oil, currently 3 in Chicago for height. 1 is the former Sears, 2 Trump. 3 is the Aon, or the former Standard Oil. It rises only 9 feet taller as the Hancock Building, which is our number 4. But when Aon was completed in the 1970s, as the Standard Oil Building, 1,136 feet made that the world's tallest marble-clad structure. But that beautiful Italian marble was not able to hold up to Chicago winters. So this marble actually starts to pull away from the building out of fear that it was going to fall to the ground below, cause a little issue for a poor pedestrian walking by. They have to redo the entire exterior in North Caledian granite. The rehab on that building approaches $90 million, which surpassed the original cost of the building itself.
Oh my God.
Triangle building on your right is the Swiss Hotel by our buddy, Harry Weiss, that architect from the North Bridge who loves to rock out those nautical themes. No difference here. Swiss Hotel is an equilateral triangle, and it is designed to pay homage to the mast of a sailboat. Now, Weiss does something pretty clever. He placed an equilateral triangle on a square plot of land. Ingenious. He made it virtually impossible for anyone to build too close to the Swiss Hotel, obstructing any of its views. Now, right next door to it is a building under construction, and it is a condominium tower for this new residential development that we're passing on our right-hand side. This is Lakeshore East. Technically, it's mixed use. You'll find restaurants and hotels over this area, but it's mainly a residential development that has been taking place over the past decade or so, being built up over what was once a 9-hole golf course along our lakefront. I'm going to point out more interesting skyscrapers in Lakeshore East, but it's hard to find. The ferries are on the lower level. Last time I'm going to ask you folks to do this. But as we pull away from the Swiss Hotel and the building under construction next to it, in the next few moments, a skyscraper will come into view behind them with alternating blue panels of glass and balconies that undulate or ripple around the building. And because of the way the colors of glass change, those balconies undulate or ripple around the building, it actually creates the image of water trickling down, which gives it its name, the Aqua. It's coming to view right behind the Swiss Hotel. 82 stories. Aqua is the tallest building to have ever been designed by a female architect. Jeannie Gang has her own firm in Chicago. Now, it's a residential building mainly. When it was completed in 2009, it was voted the best new residential design in the world. Currently, we are heading northeast on the Chicago River. And over 100 years ago, the direction we're traveling at this moment was the way the river would flow. Back in the mid-1800s, the Chicago River flowed northeast into Lake Michigan, which is, and was at the time, our main source of drinking water. But in the mid-1800s, our Chicago River is polluted. There is industry on all 3 branches. Now, runoff from our Union stockyards in the South Branch, so bad that an area creek bubbled, giving it the name Bubbly Creek. There are pictures of chickens literally walking on Bubbly Creek at this time because of how dense the water was. So if we're thinking about it, all that waste and runoff is in the river, which is feeding into the drinking supply of Lake Michigan. Chicago has problems. Mainly disease. People are dying at epidemic rates from typhoid fever, dysentery, and cholera by the hundreds and thousands.
My phone is all that.
Sorry about that. So, what we decided to do was reverse our river. We figured, hey, if that river does not actually flow northeast into the lake, but it now goes southwest and away from it, our problem is solved. 1892, we began work on our sanitary ship canal, which connects the south branch of our river over to the Des Plaines River. We make the mouth of our canal just a little bit wider than the mouth of our river. We proceed to dredge the canal 15 feet deeper than the floor of our river. So January 2nd, 1900, when the canal is opened, gravity takes force, and it pulls this river south around again. No longer does it actually feed northeast into the lake, but it now goes southwest through the sanitary ship canal to the Des Plaines, Illinois, the Mississippi, and down into the Gulf of Mexico. We in Chicago are thrilled. Our waste doesn't bother us, folks. It's how St. Louis is from. Now, to be fair, we do not actually feel bad for St. Louis. They just bottled it up, sold it back to us as Budweiser. We have never complained. Surrounding states, not so happy with Chicago. They're like, hey, what's up, Chi-Town? Believe it or not, Chicago, you folks, not the only ones that use that lake for your drinking water. Way to go, geniuses. You have just reversed a your little Chicago River, so now Lake Michigan is flowing freely into the Gulf of Mexico. Thank you, Chicago. Not only are you going to drink Lake Michigan, but you will definitely take more than your fair share. So they band together with Canada and sues. We spent a few years apart. Come up with a compromise. 1937, the Army Corps of Engineers completes the Chicago Harbor Lock as the compromise. Coming into view on your right-hand side, gravity operated. It is free for your use open 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, operated as needed. Purpose to control the amount of water that we actually allow exit from the lake into the river. The lock sees an overestimated 47,000 vessels pass through annually. So the lock is this gated area to your right, but if you have your cameras, that amazing first mate of ours, Nick, lining up the best view of our skyline from the river for you on the left for that sunset shot tonight. So to the front right of you, I'm sure a few of you had noticed the Navy Pier has come into view as we made our way out of this turning basin. Navy Pier has had a few metamorphoses over its history. Originally, municipal pier when it was completed in 1918 for commercial, freight, and passenger traffic. World War II, the Navy moves in here to train their pilots. That's how it got its name. One day of classroom training and a pilot was expected to take off at the pier. As you can imagine. After only a day of classroom training, not everyone was successful. We've had a few planes in the bottom of our life. 1946 to 1965, this is the University of Illinois at Navy Pier retaining the name. When they leave, it is empty for a number of years, dilapidated over time, and then in 1995, we spent roughly $20 million bringing it up to what you see today. Currently, Navy Pier is one of the largest tourist attractions in the city, the state, as well as the Midwest. There's a lot to do at Navy Pier, folks. We have an amazing children's museum, stained glass museum, IMAX theater, grand ballroom, and indoor climate-controlled park with a botanical garden.
Can she be on her knees? Thank you.
Tilt-a-whirl, putt-putt golf, and carousel. Now remember this Ferris wheel on Navy Pier?
Sir, she needs to be on her knees. Sir, she needs to be on her knees. Thank you.
So the Ferris wheel over here is half the size of the original one that debuted in Chicago in 1893. You can find Chicago Shakespeare Theater, Chicago Shakes, Tony Award-winning and nationally recognized, Chicago Children's Theater, Chicago Skyline Theater. Shops and restaurants include things like a Garrett's Popcorn, one of the largest McDonald's in the Midwest, a Harry Carey's, a beautiful beer garden. It's a lot of fun. Every Wednesday and Saturday evening, Memorial Day to Labor Day, fireworks off of Navy Pier. So if you're in the downtown area tonight at 9:30, you'll catch one of those shows. If you have any questions about the pier, I just need directions on how to get there. Please don't hesitate to check with me after the tour. I'd love to assist you in the way I can. So, as we made this turn, our amazing first mate Nick has lined up that skyline photo for you again, folks. He doesn't always give us all of these photo opportunities, so if you wanted to say a little thank you to Nick with an applause, I'm sure he'd appreciate it. He's working very hard for you tonight.
Take more pictures.
Thank you, Nick.
The light is just not good. It's not a good light.